So this is what I was talking about. I did see a post from Elon that said that he went on a very long Joe Rogan podcast. Now, the Joe Rogan podcasts are normally pretty long, so I don't know exactly how long they're talking. We're not going to watch the whole freaking clip. I'm just curious. Okay, 3 hours. 3 hours. Interesting. So yeah, long Joe Rogan podcast. I do see a clip here that Elon himself put up, so I'm curious to see what that is.
About how the news is a total dumpster fire.
It is.
She knows me too well. I'm so predictable. Tell me what's in Fort Knox.
What's in?
Dogs?
Wait, no. What's in Fort Knox?
What's in Fort Dogs?
Fort Knox, come on now.
Genius AI. I said, what is in Fort Knox? You know the gold and all?
Oh, right, Fort Knox. I thought you were talking about my dogs for a second there.
Yeah, she doesn't want to answer the question.
Oh, are we talking to an AI?
Lever? No, she's just a pain in my ass.
I'm assuming they're talking to the Grok unhinged voice mode.
Do you think that all the gold is in Fort Knox?
Do I think all the gold is in Fort Knox?
Yes.
A fucking conspiracy theorist?
Yes.
That's actually kind of funny. I know Elon's really been working to try to get like Grok to actually be unhinged and not be so woke as I feel like all AI bots are just by default. So it's good. It's been getting better. They've tested it the last time he was on, and it was kind of skirting around some questions, but it's being as human as it can be at the very least. AI is really mid. Agreed, Taylor. AI currently is pretty mid. I'm a software engineer by day, and so I use it a lot to help me code, and it's useful for that. But I haven't really tried it with other stuff. Grok is pretty useful for searching, I found. Like here, I'll ask a question, something lately, right? Because I actually don't know about this. What is the drama between Trump and I'm gonna spell this wrong. Zelenskyy? Analyzing diplomatic impact. Grok is crazy, guys. It's crazy. I'm not saying it's perfect or anything, but this is really what I use Grok for, is like trying to get compiled information of new events. Seems like the drama between Trump and Zelenskyy stems from a recent heated meeting on February 28th, correct, where Trump criticized Zelenskyy for lacking gratitude for U.S. support, and that sounds accurate from what I've seen. Research suggests this meeting involved public accusations with Trump claiming Zelenskyy was risking World War III. I did see that clip, which we'll probably react to. He did say that, while Zelenskyy defended Ukraine's stance against Russia. I didn't really see his response. The evidence leans towards being part of a broader history, including the 2019 Trump-Ukraine scandal, which involved pressure on Zelenskyy to investigate Joe Biden, leading to Trump's first impeachment. There is controversy, while Democrats and some Republicans criticizing Trump's approach, while his supporters defending it as standing up for U.S. interests. So yeah, I mean, it gave me the information, and then if I wanted to go deep into the background, it'll show me, some more information about it, and then like information for each of the sources that it covered with links. Gives me this little table, moments, and the details about each of those moments. So like I said, I didn't see Zelensky's response. So here it says, stress Russia's untrustworthiness, refuse to cede territory. Okay, now I kind of know what Zelenskyy was talking about. I did see this clip. I don't know what the hell this Ukrainian show is, but this is President Zelenskyy like a bajillion years ago doing some weird shit. I'm not a big fan of like people bashing on him for this. Granted, it is really fucking weird, but we've all done really weird shit when we were younger. Again, in the same way that I was saying being a shit person doesn't disqualify you from being a leader, doing really weird shit like this also doesn't disqualify you from being a good leader. Okay, we got a post by Trump. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. Probably true. It's amazing what comes out through emotion. Also true. And I have determined that President Zelenskyy is not ready for peace if America is involved. I wonder why. Why would he make that assumption? Because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. Okay. I don't want advantage. I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace. I guess I'd have to see the clip, and we'll try to find it and watch it. But I can kind of see this point. Granted, if you have a lot of financial support and like armory support from the United States, giving weapons, munitions, that kind of thing to Ukraine, then Ukraine does have a lot of leverage, obviously, with the United States support. Like, hey, we have all of this. They can't just be steamrolled, right? And I don't think anybody wants Ukraine to be steamrolled by Russia. That does not sound good. And I think Trump is saying he doesn't like the fact that he's basically using the power of the United States as a leveraging tool in discussions, because it's more like aggressive negotiations. It is diplomacy, but it's with the smackdown of we have all this stuff that America gave us. However, that is kind of contradictory to Trump's point that he always makes of strength or peace through strength, right? His whole thing is if we armor ourselves and we have all of this shit in the strongest military of all time, then we can achieve peace through that strength. Zelenskyy is trying to do the same thing, but with the United States strength backing him. So I see both sides of this coin. On one degree, it can be a diplomacy technique to grow strength, but by basically saying that you can use the U.S. munitions and the U.S.'s strength in negotiations, it kind of draws us into this national conflict of saying, hey, the United States weapons are going to fuck you guys up if you don't do what we want, and then that can be troublesome in the waters of World War. So I see both sides of this. I have to see the clip though. He's old, just a better version of old for his age. I mean, I think that's an undeniable fact. I mean, you look at just Biden's cognitive ability compared to Trump's. I'm amazed, honestly. I mean, that dude campaigned for years. What is it, like 2 years leading up to 2024? Pretty much every single day, waking up stupid early, meeting like 1 million people, doing press conference after he would do podcasts like every single day, completely friggin' packed with stuff, probably staying up much later than I do, going to sleep, waking up, doing it all over again the next day. Honestly, now that he's in the presidency, it's probably a lot less physically and mentally taxing than the whole campaign thing was, because he doesn't have to do all of that extra shit. Granted, he has other problems now with the presidency that he's got to do and put in work for, but the fact that he can do all of that at his age for so long and basically show no slowing down is very impressive. And I think that keeps you cognitively sharp, right? If you have to do crazy work all day every day, I mean, you're training yourself, you're building yourself up. If you take, what was it, Biden took like 500 days of vacation over his presidency. Yeah, 577 vacation days he took, which is insane. That's 1.5 years of his 4-year term. He was on vacation. So let's see. He didn't stop even after what happened. That's another good point. The dude had an assassination attempt. The dude got shot in the ear, and he was unfazed and just kept going. And again, I think honestly, and I don't think I'm alone in saying this, I think he won the election when that happened. People saw, here's this guy, and you could disagree with everything that he says, and you could be like, holy shit, that's badass. Even Mark Zuckerberg said that. He's like, it's kind of hard not to get like emotional as an American to see that after getting shot and standing up and pumping your fist. Like, I don't disagree with you. Again, and like, I'm not trying to like brown nose the hell out of the guy. It's just like, there are admirable traits and there are things that are valuable in a leader that I see from him. He is harsh, and obviously he's a good deal maker, which you want. And these are things that I think are good to have as a president. I'm not trying to negate or say that all of the bad stuff isn't there. I'm just saying that if there's enough good stuff, it makes me overlook the bad stuff. And every person is a mixed basket. You can't be all perfect. And I think we generally look at our politicians and I think it's a good thing to want our politicians to be held to a higher standard because they represent us. But also, isn't the American spirit kind of like, I think of like manifest destiny. I think of like, we don't take shit from no one, and that's sort of the Trump mentality. And I think people tend to have a bigger sense of maybe patriotism with him as a leader. At least I do. A lot of people who hate him just think that the world is ending, and I don't think that's true. It's very American. That's a good way to put it, Sakuna. Very good way to put it. Here's the thing, and this could just be me, but I look at this image. I look at what happened, and it's like, it looks like employee meeting boss. It looks like son going to father. Like Trump just appears stronger here, just visually. I'm not saying that he is stronger. I'm saying it appears that way. And I feel like in this field, in politics, in leadership, and anything, appearance is everything. Again, we just talked about how Biden appeared weak and how he looked weak and that people felt like they had more leniency to do more of what they wanted without U.S. oversight. Trump just looks strong, and it goes a long way. Zelenskyy looks like a child. Exactly. It's like, he was patting him on the back. Oh, you're all dressed up, buddy. Good. Gold star. Here we go. Full argument. Let's see.
He broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect.
For the record, this is what I was talking about earlier. You can see he's sitting there, arms crossed. You can see that he's angry. Trump is sort of just down in the power stance with the hands, just looking calmly over at JD. JD, hands out. Again, it's putting separation between you and the person. I've watched some of the body language experts react to, and like whenever they do that, it's like it shows a little bit more. I don't know if this is aggressive or calming. I think he's actually trying to set him at ease while he's saying what he's saying. I think this is something JD Vance could do a masterclass on, is he can be straight up, no bullshit in your face, saying the hard stuff that you probably don't want to hear, but he'll do it with such grace. You'll still probably get pissed off because you're hearing something you don't want to hear, but he says it with in such a good way. Trump looks like he doesn't give a fuck. You're absolutely right. Who's Zelenskyy? Zelenskyy is the president's or prime minister, I think it's president of Ukraine. They're talking about negotiations over the Ukraine-Russia war.
I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war.
Good response. Good beginning to a response from Zelenskyy. He says, you've asked a lot of questions. He could have gotten angry and just started yelling at him, but he said, let's start from the beginning. Good start. It calms the tempers a little bit. Trump and Vance are on their home turf, so they can be a little bit more comfortable and they can be a little bit more aggressive and not have to be so Mr. President, because they're on their home turf. He is a guest there. But for him to be here and be like, oh, bitch, under his breath, and to get argumentative with them, as much as maybe they deserve to get yelled at by Zelenskyy, he can't do that. He's a guest in the White House. America is a powerful nation. And honestly, the right response from Trump and Vance here is to get upset in response. Otherwise, it's going to look like anybody can just treat us however they want.
Everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
Yeah, see, you can't say that. Like he's coming here for help and peace negotiations. This rare earth minerals deal, and he's saying, hey, you guys don't feel it because you got this big ocean between you and the problem. Okay, technically true, but again, he's a guest here. He shouldn't be saying, hey, you guys are so lucky because you're so across the ocean. He's saying this in sort of an argumentative way. He goes, but you're gonna feel it soon. You can't do that. Whether or not it's true, you just can't behave like this when you're a guest in the White House. Now Trump gets pissed. Yes, we're going to play it. Let's see.
Bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've
True.
allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning.
Also, again, with the talking over each other, you're a guest in the White House. Whether he hates Trump right now, whether he disagrees with everything that he's saying, he's got to let him finish. Because otherwise, this just looks like the dude who's arguing with the president while he's a guest in his house.
Of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position. You don't have the cards right now.
And honestly, and Trump isn't even like saying this in an angry, nasty way. He's just like, he's saying, hey, you do, like, he's just checking him. He's putting him in his place. He goes, you do not have the cards right now. You are here because you need to be here. Don't tell us what we're going to feel. I'm trying to negotiate peace. I think right now, Trump is maintaining composure, which is great. It was the one thing that I really thought we needed to see more of him on, especially on that first debate. He lacks composure. He gets very angry a lot of the times, and he'll be like, in 2016 he was quick to insult people, but he's doing this with such composure. It's great. There's some stuff happening in chat. Let's see. Ukraine needs to end this war. The war needs to end. I don't know what the road to the end looks like. Ukraine didn't start the war, so is it their responsibility to end it? I don't think the burden should have to be on them, but I think it's the only way that it will end, is if they end it, unfortunately. Then again, his country is currently getting invaded, so I kind of understand his tone. That's true. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time. He's been putting up with this war for what? It's like over 2 years now. So true. I mean, he has a reason to be upset, but like, he could do this in a better way, is what I'm trying to say. Like, he can tell him, he goes, this is the situation I'm in. This is the strain the Ukrainian people are feeling. This is the strain that my country is under. This is what the turmoil that we're experiencing. We don't know what to do. He could come from it from a more like sense of concern and just desperately wanting to end this conflict. But here he's almost trying to, he feels as though Trump isn't giving them enough or something here. I don't exactly know the cause of the anger to start with, because this kind of starts right at the beginning of the argument. And he's being more argumentative. It's just not the right way to go about it. But I agree with you. He's putting up with a lot of shit. Zelensky's mind can't comprehend this because he's used to dealing with the Biden administration. Also true. He needs to learn how to readjust. It's not Ukraine's fault. It's Russia's fault. Exactly, Taylor. I mean, you're right. It's not Ukraine's fault. They didn't start this war. But again, I don't think Russia anytime soon is just going to be like, okay, we're satisfied. We're good. Sadly, because you don't want Ukraine to cede territory, because then you kind of give Russia the A-OK, like, hey, you conquered a portion of Ukraine and it's now yours. You let Russia win that way. So it's like, I don't have the answer. I mean, thank God I'm not a politician or a world leader, but it's like, it's tough because unfortunately, although I don't think it's Ukraine's responsibility to end the war, I think they're the only people who will be able to. He's had so much audacity to talk this way. He needs to show some respect since he's been given so much. I agree. We've given Ukraine so much friggin' money and so many weapons and so much stuff for free. And so the main purpose of this meeting was to get him to come out, sign this deal that says you're going to pay us back essentially with rare earth metals, difficult to mine during the war, as one of you guys said. But it's like some sort of degree of not like as a thank you, but it's just like, hey, we need to have some give and take here. Russia is a greedy bastard. You're right, Taylor. You're right. I don't disagree with anything there. Because if fighting continues, more people will die. Exactly. Deaths on both sides. And the thing is, a lot of the Russian, from my understanding, I could be wrong, a lot of the Russian soldiers when this war started didn't really know what they were fighting for. And again, even if you're a Russian soldier and you disagree with the war that's happening, what are you gonna do? Like, they'll kill you if you don't fight. So it really is, it's the Kremlin that is bad. I don't think Russia as a nation, maybe not a nation is the wrong way to say it. I don't think the Russian people are bad. It is the Russian leadership. Let's see. Oh, Anxiety Prime is in here. I didn't even see that. Just because we stop supporting Ukraine doesn't mean we support Russia. That's also true. But sadly, if we stop supporting Ukraine entirely, they'll get bulldozed. They've got nothing. Who's going to help them? We are by far the largest donor, and I don't even agree that we should be giving them as much as we do. But we've kind of put ourselves in this between a rock and a hard place where we have to either continue to support them or Russia wins. So it's like, I don't know what the deal is here. I think the idea is we'll at the very least get something back with these medals. Let's see. Ukraine doesn't owe America anything. I think technically you're correct, because when we started giving them the munitions and the funding, it's my understanding we didn't ask for anything back. We just gave it to them. So now coming back and say, hey, you know all that stuff we gave you, now we want something back for it. It's not good. Do I think it's Do I think it's fair for them to give us something back? Absolutely. I think that if they have the ability to give us something back, they should. They ought to. But they don't owe it to us.
With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
But right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
what do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III.
Here, I think Trump is a little bit. I think that he's a little bit too exploitative here. I don't think that this whole bit is necessary from him. I mean, even Zelensky's like, what are we gambling with? And he just keeps going. I think that this is a bit of an L on Trump's part right here. Kakaruda says, okay, good 2 cents. I mean, I'm from Lithuania. We have a lot of discussion about it all. Crazy how we're a small country, but we're the 4th most donating to Ukraine. Damn, that is crazy. I'm pretty uninformed on the war, so I don't know all of the nitty-gritty details. I just know kind of like the main headlines and all that. I think that it's a very tough situation, basically. Taylor, you agree? Aggressive? Yeah.
And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said
So here's where the composure goes away. Yeah, when I was complimenting him earlier on the composure, he's angry here. And again, this could be like 4D chess. He could be getting angry because he thought he was being disrespectful. But now Zelensky is almost trying to calm him down. He's like, no, I'm being respectful. And he's like kind of sitting back down. So again, he could have just done this to try to put him in his place. I don't know how Trump's mind works.
thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting, have
today.
you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October.
Zelensky has said thank you before. Like, he's shown his support for countries that provide to Ukraine. He doesn't need to come here and be like, oh, thank you once again. Thank you. It's like, we know you're thankful. So, I mean, I kind of disagree with Vance here, but now Vance is trying to back his boy, Trump, and kind of match his energy.
Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country.
I'll give him this. Trump and Vance have each other's backs. I don't necessarily agree with this assertiveness that's going on here. I think that they're being a little bit too angry, a little bit too much, but they have each other's backs. I think that says something.
is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
I...
You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
Yeah, I was going to disagree with him there, too. He hasn't been alone. He's had support. Let's see what Trump says.
In this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
Biden.
You voted
We gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment.
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
Yes. What about West
If
again?
you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something.
Maybe
new.
I do remember Putin saying that.
In 2 weeks, of course he has.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of
accept
times.
that
He did say a lot of times. I think, again, this is like... they're sort of self-sabotaging at this point. I thought it was warranted at first, but now I think that they're kind of just bringing everything down south. They need to... I think the stick is generally... Trump takes the approach that the stick is better than the carrot, but only to the extent that you don't just beat your opponent to death with it. I mean, you want to show it, maybe give him a little tap, but like then take a step back. Let's let the tensions calm a little bit. Again, this could be 4D chess. This could be something where they're trying to get angry so that he'll get angry. So then America has the excuse of saying, oh, we were disrespected by Ukraine, so we're going to stop giving them materials. And then they're off the hook. So it could, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. That actually would make a lot of sense. And that seems like something that they would do. Because generally, I mean, they've shown that they can have composure, especially JD. But I don't know. Time will tell.
accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're
They also, yeah, they shouldn't be debating this kind of stuff in front of the media.
wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I
over
understand,
there.
sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long.
Yes, but like for a conversation like this, yes and no. We should see some parts of it. We don't need to see all of it. Rob, you think JD looks like Trump's son? Kind of agree.
You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low on
know.
soldiers.
Don't- don't,
you're
please,
running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I wanted this. Look, if you could
Not sure what he's talking about here. Did Zelensky say he doesn't want a ceasefire? I'm confused.
get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop
Of
getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war. But
You're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
that
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins.
Okay.
You got to be more thankful.
So
Because
is Trump saying that he actually gave Zelensky and Ukraine better munitions than Obama did / Biden, and so he needs to be more thankful to Trump because he's treated them better? I don't know if any of this stuff is true, but that's what I'm picking up from this. Let's see what you guys said. Let's see. Bushman, you said Trump would most likely back down from being aggressive if Zelensky was more assertive and kind of demanded more respect. True. I think Trump is the kind of man, especially in, like, let's just say businessmen in general, will return respect when respect is demanded. You're essentially opening the door to be walked over. I'm not saying that it's necessarily the right thing to do, but you need to kind of have a little bit, you need to have some lacking of empathy as a leader or as a executive to be able to do this, because you want to be as strong. Your job is not to make the other person feel good. Your job is to make your country as strong as it can be. And so by Zelensky giving him the almost authority by not being more assertive or demanding more respect, Trump is going to keep doing this. So that's actually a good point. I like to think I'm a little bit more empathetic, so I don't think I would be able to do that. Anxiety Prime, is that a gold Trump Bible on the table?
in fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and
Yeah,
Trump gave
yeah.
javelins. You got to be more thankful. Because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards.
Okay.
But without us, you don't have any cards.
Okay, I see that. That gold Trump something you see is gold Trump card. Oh, that's the Trump card? I didn't realize it was a physical thing. Holy shit. Also, my face is super red. I'm sorry, it's hot in here.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me.
And that's the funny thing is, even though he was like, oh, Biden was incompetent. He's like, hey, you elected your president. What are you talking about? Even when he says they didn't respect Biden, Zelensky gives a little head nod. He agrees.
Because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you.
And there you go. And he's like, they do. It's again, that's the shit. You know that he's doing that without thinking about it. And when you see that unfiltered response from him, you can learn a lot. He goes, I agree they didn't respect Biden. And he goes, they do respect Trump. And even though he's saying what he's saying here, you know that he believes it. Wow, I never noticed that head nod. Wow. You being for real? Yeah, no. Like, again, let's just look at those nonverbals again. Because again, these are things that you do without thinking. So you know that they're as unbiased as they can be when it comes to what you're thinking. Unless he's just some freaking like mastermind when it comes to psychology and he's trying to show what he wants, but I highly doubt that. Here
What
we
if
go.
anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay?
Let's look at
what
him.
if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me
No?
tell you, Putin went.
There you go. There you have it. In this meeting, Zelensky was too stubborn. I agree with you. I think he was too stubborn, especially being a guest in the White House. Again, my point earlier about how Zelensky has said thank you before and he doesn't need to say thank you every time. I think, again, Trump as a deal maker his entire life, he knows how to get what he wants from people. And so here, by saying that he's being unthankful, I feel like that's his way of trying to make Zelensky feel more internally grateful. He's like, wow, he's reiterating these things to try to emphasize how important the United States is and how he's trying to get a better deal for us, basically. Whether you agree with it or not, he's trying to make the U.S. some money. He's trying to get something out of this. That's his job, right? Trump saying he wants peace. I think peace in Ukraine to Trump is a side quest. It is like a bonus. I think I think he could really care less about what happens there. I think he's just trying to make a buck. And I'm not trying to diss him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to diss him. He's a deal maker. He wants to make a deal. He wants to make money. I think peace is a plus if we can get it, but it's not actually what he's after. That's what I think. Let's see. Zelenskyy looks like he wants someone to shut him up, but then he realizes he needs him. Yeah, exactly. Taylor says you're right. I feel like Trump always is about to say something smart, then goes back on shitting on other politicians. Yeah, he does need to calm down on that a little bit. I think it discredits a little bit of him. Like if he didn't shit talk Biden so freaking much, I feel like his points would be clearer and people would listen to more of what he has to say. Because you get to this point where you just have to filter out all the shit he always repeats, and then it conditions you to filter out the shit that he's saying. So during the campaign, I get it, shit on Biden because he's your opponent, but like you won. Shitting on Biden literally does nothing now except for, I don't know, making yourself look better compared to who came before you.
All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television. I will say that. All right.
Zelensky's
we'll
upset.
See what we can do about putting it together. Thank you.
Guys, come on, let's go.
We'll see. I don't know.
All right, guys, come on. Wait.
I think there's a lot of different things that can be taken from this. I think one aspect of it is Trump is trying to make Zelenskyy appear as ungrateful at the same time as trying to make Zelenskyy feel like he needs to be more grateful to get a better deal for the US. So that's point number one. Or this could be, we need to try to make it look like Ukraine and Zelenskyy have offended us and have disrespected us such that we have an excuse to stop being so nice to them and it gives us an out. That could be a second take. Or this could just be a conversation where Trump got mad. It could be either of those three things. I think it's probably a little bit of all of it.